camera is, why is it zoomed in and so close? Okay, there's 10 of you here already. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. I am super grateful. I'm gonna see if I can make my camera a little bit taller. Oh. As I crash into a whole bunch of stuff here. Let's see what I can do. I don't know. I just want to make sure you guys are able to see me and the cards and all of that properly. Is that better? Oh, that's a little better. Oh, okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the first few awkward minutes of the stream where we figure out my tech stuff. But I was so happy to see that there were already 10 people waiting. I was like, what? You guys, I'm so happy that this weird questions is taking off, that it's something you guys really enjoy because I love it. Kathy, thank you for your super chat, and hello. Hello to everybody who has just joined. All right. So yes, it is Friday. We are doing weird questions for June 2021. Trying to get shuffled, already dropping cards on the floor. You guys had a lot of really, really good questions, a lot of really good ideas. And it is so hard to narrow it down to just, I tried to narrow it down to just 5 for the stream. And yeah, that was really tough. But this time, we actually have a lot of aliens today. I mean, it's not weird questions without at least one alien question. I've found in 7 episodes, by the way. Yay! Can't believe Weird Questions has been going for 7 episodes so far. And we have on the docket today, I forgot to write down all your usernames, so you guys know who you are and what you wanted to ask about today. First thing on the list I have, do we live in a multiverse? And if we do, how many universes are there? And then I have my own question about if there are different universes. Is each universe maybe a different dimension? You know, is Earth maybe like the 3D? Maybe another universe is like the dream realm, and then maybe another universe is like the 6th density or the 6th dimension. Another one's like the 7th dimension, etc. That was just something I wondered about. And what can we know about other universes? So that one's going to be really fun. Next, we have, are other deities real, such as the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Norse gods, etc. And then we switch gears and go into human cloning. Is human cloning a thing? Has it been done? Are there human clones out there in the world right now? Or will it be part of our future? And then we get into aliens for questions 4 and 5. We have for number 4, is Bob Lazar telling the truth about working on an alien spacecraft? And then this viewer also wanted to know, how can humans travel faster in space? And I thought that one was pretty random and interesting. It's not something I would have thought to ask about before. And then the last question will be, are there aliens out there who protect humans? I think we did kind of look at this before. I don't remember if it was on Weird Questions or if it was some other time, but I do remember reading something, like something coming up in a reading rather, that there were aliens that like to observe us, like for their scientific purposes, and ones that they watch us. I had the feeling that some were prepared to step in if they needed to, but at the same time, they just mostly didn't. But we can always go into more detail with that. Hello to everybody who's just joined. Oh, and before we start the stream, I was kind of thinking this, and I was wondering if this is something you guys would be interested in, that instead of just leaving the stream up as it is and it's like full length, if I should, when the stream is done, unlist it for a little while, edit all like a bunch of the first few minutes out, you know, before we actually get rolling, edit that out, and so that it's that we more so get to the important parts, like the different topics, as opposed to the conversational stuff. I did that with the Kanye West Past Life stream. I just edited out the first few minutes in the beginning where we were just waiting for everybody to come in. And so it did make that upload a little bit shorter. Definitely less intimidating than seeing like a 1 hour long video. So let me know if that's something that is working for you guys, if that's something I should do. And yeah, with that, I think we're ready to start. We have 19 people in already. Holy wow. So I guess we'll start. Weird questions. Question 1. Do we live in a multiverse? Well, Brenda's saying, okay, if it's not too much work for me. Well, it's not. It does take a little while to download a long stream and export. Ah, Johnny, thank you for your super chat. It does take a long time to download a long stream and export it and stuff like that, but I don't mind doing it. I know I don't really consider them complaints. I think it was just more advice or constructive criticism, or just whatever. Somebody just giving me ideas. And I had a few viewers ask if I would consider maybe editing my streams down and re-uploading them. But I don't know. And I wouldn't want to edit out too much, because sometimes the conversation is like a really important part of the stream. But I wouldn't mind just taking out the first like 10 minutes before the stream actually starts. I don't know. Let me know if that's something you guys want me to try doing. Phew! Gesundheit. All right. Yeah, well, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try for a few streams and see if it's something I can keep doing sustainably. And okay, you know what, Johnny? You make a good point. They can always fast forward. And I do make sure to put timestamps. Like with the Obama's past lives, that stream was 2 hours. So I made sure to put timestamps to the important parts. So yeah, maybe that's just something I should think about too. All right, now for real, let's start weird questions. Let's start with question 1. Do we live in a multiverse? And if we do, how many universes are there? What can we know about the nature of our universe? Oop, is it just this universe, or is it one of many? Okay. Okay, this is interesting. I'm trying to sort of piece it all together. I think there are multiple universes, at the same time, like I think there is a multiverse, but at the same time, this universe in particular that we live in has had multiple, I'm hearing life cycles. I'm seeing it expands, and then this is really a weird mental image I'm seeing. Okay, it expands almost like a, let's see, bird's eye view here, a ring out from the center, like the ripple effect. And then from the center, it starts to tear its way out. So instead of, some people think the universe will just contract back in on itself. For some reason, the mental image I'm seeing is the Big Bang, the expansion, the everything. And then, yeah, just from its core, from where that expansion started, it starts to tear itself apart. And that's what I was seeing here with this death card. Like, life cycle. This universe we've lived in has had multiple life cycles. I'm also, with the tower, I was hearing heat death. The heat death of our universe. I wonder if that maybe has to do with something ripping out, like that, if this is making sense. Brenda says regeneration, and I think that's a good way to put it as well. Our universe in particular has had a lot more life cycles than we've been able to track. We are studying our universe, and scientists go, well, you know, like however many billion years ago or however long ago there was the Big Bang, the singularity, and then all of a sudden it expanded out. This has happened many, many times over. And we're only studying the most recent life cycle of this universe. But there kind of are multiple universes, sort of. I'm actually just being shown just many, many different dimensions also. So, okay, I think I get it. I think there's multiple universes in the sense that maybe this universe just starts itself over and over. It starts itself fresh every, I don't know how long, billions and billions of years. I'm going to pull some more cards and see what else information we can get on this. I keep getting twos. Almost like there is one that kind of runs alongside of this one that we live in. And then with the Fool card, I'm seeing multiple dimensions, and we just have to be willing to travel. And I don't think this is like physically travel. I think this is talking more about astral projection or meditation and receiving images, you know, from different places. I mean, yes, you can actually astral project and see images from different parts of this world, but from different parts of our universe and other universes. So we have our universe that keeps recycling itself over and over and over. And then I just was seeing with all those two cards that there is, I think there's another one like kind of alongside ours. Now, there was something I was wondering, is each universe a different dimension? You know, our universe is like maybe the third dimension. And then another one is maybe the fourth dimension or the dream state, wherever our souls go when we're dreaming or whatever. Another realm might be the seventh dimension or something. I just want to know, Spirit, if there's anything to that, if that's a thing. You know what? It's okay. I like when Spirit kind of calls me out. Well, they're saying, like, first of all, yes, that I could think of it that way if I wanted to. Like each different dimension, sometimes we might think of it as being in a different world, a different universe. So they're saying like, yeah, you could think of it that way, but that I'm missing the point and that I might be putting too limiting of a view on other universes. I think I would consider this a multiverse that we live in. I love that I got Four of Cups telling me, Seanna, you're missing the point, and Two of Swords being like, I'm trying to make this too simple, and I'm not seeing, there's something about this I'm not seeing. Okay, so don't put labels on the different. Oh, you know what? I think I understand. Now, I was maybe seeing different universes as like, here's one, here's another one on top, or you know, like just like a clear separation of them, when actually they kind of all just blend together. It's seamless. I hear the word seamless, and I'm seeing a infinity loop. That one ends and the other begins, but the transition is quite subtle. That's kind of cool. Oh, Aries, thank you for your support. Off-topic channeling and spirit of Stephen Hawking. Oh, he would be a really good medium reading. That's a good idea. I think I actually have that written down somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna have to set up a stream for that. I think we should do that at some point in the future. That would be a really good idea. He's probably got some amazing things to tell us. And I think maybe he would help me to understand this whole multiverse thing a little bit better than I currently do. I'm relaying information that comes in and I don't even fully understand what I'm getting that's coming in. But okay, you know what? All right, what can we know about other universes then? Other than what we've already kind of found out, like, I was first seeing them as clearly separated from each other, but they all actually kind of blend together. I'm being shown a picture of a rainbow, the way that I might personally draw a rainbow. You know, I got my red marker, then I got my orange marker, then I got my yellow marker, etc. When you look at an actual rainbow, the colors are not that clear cut. They blend. Everything is connected. Yes, Joe, that's exactly it. They blend. And these multiple universes and multiple dimensions and stuff, they blend. I really like that. And then, of course, our own universe has had multiple life cycles. So we might consider that multiple universes too. Oh, Einstein would be a really good one to channel too. I should just like maybe do a stream where we get like a bunch of science guys in spirit to come and chat. Maybe Tesla would come back and chat with us again too. He was interesting. All right, what can we know about other universes? Oh, cool. All right. They're all closely connected with that Lover's card. I think what happens in one maybe has an effect on the vibration of the rest. There's some where souls have to learn lessons on things like greed, survivalism, learning like, You know what? You know what I pick up with the Seven of Swords? It's like, oh, think about some of like the really shitty people on our planet, like our Trumps, our other like extremely selfish people, abusive people, people that love to just manipulate and love to be in power and stuff like that. There is kind of a dimension where a lot of souls have to go to learn lessons in this area, to learn how to overcome these kind of behaviors. And this is something that's coming in, is like as our earth raises its vibration, and becomes more loving, becomes more compassionate in general, that souls that still on earth still did not get the point and learn from like a lifetime where they were really selfish or whatever, they won't be reincarnating back on earth, because earth has moved on from those kind of lessons in the future. Of course, we're still dealing with stuff like this today, but we will get to a point where earth has moved on from those kind of lessons, and they have to be born elsewhere in a dimension that's still learning. And that dimension will even raise in vibration. Okay, and then on the other hand, there's some dimensions that are quite high, quite spiritual, that are actually much higher than this one even, where we've kind of moved up the hierarchy of needs from the survival and the the mine. I guess we could maybe call that 3D. That's, moved on from that. We've moved on even past the self-actualization needs, kind of at the very tip of Maslow's hierarchy. Some souls that are some beings that just live in these higher realms because they've done the earth thing so many times. They've learned everything. Well, I don't want to say everything they could possibly learn from earth, because I think that earth is full of surprises. There's always going to be something you learn here that you did not know before, or you had not experienced before. Earth and this universe we live in is very unique in that kind of way. But like I'm saying, like there are like 8th density beings, 7th density beings. For example, when I read on Nikola Tesla last year or year and a half ago, we learned that he was like, I think he was like a 7th density or 7th dimensional being, and he had to compact all of that energy into a human form, and it was very difficult. And he ended up having a lot of interesting quirks and a lot of struggle in that Earth lifetime. But there are some upper density beings that they come to Earth, whether maybe they don't quote need to, maybe they could incarnate elsewhere, but they want to come to Earth because, like I said, there's experiences we have here that you might not get in other places. There's also like a magic, something here, a magic realm. What is this? What is this all about? This seems cool. What is there? And I'm picking up an energy of like creation. Is there like a spiritual HQ where you can like exist? And what is this all about? This has to do with the creation of the other dimensions. Like this is one of the highest places in spirit, and I keep getting that you get to like the highest or whatever density or the highest level of heaven, and you still can keep going up. You will never ever run out of things to learn. What am I seeing? Oh, there's also something here about like where our higher selves reside. There's something very, very strongly like coming in about the higher self. Knowing where the higher self resides in spirit. I also just pick up that we have, I would say, spiritual family from all over these different dimensions, different universes. That's neat. Okay, so that was our question on the multiverse. How many universes are there? Quite a few. There's one that is very closely running alongside this one, and this one itself has had multiple life cycles. It's something it's really hard for me to understand, to be honest. So now staying in the spiritual for our next question, I had another viewer ask if the other deities out there are real. If the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Norse gods, like all the other ones we can think of, are they real? There has to be something like to them. Why would their civilizations have worshipped them and had these different mythologies and personas and stuff for them? So what do we have? Okay, all right. I think there are many different energetic beings, but I just keep hearing there's only one singularity that we all belong to and come from. And like these various deities are different aspects of the same source. Different aspects of the same source. And now some of it too, okay, I'm especially just being like shown like ancient civilizations and stuff. There were some really bad things that would happen, like natural disasters or illness or things like that. Some people didn't really understand why some things are happening, so they attributed it to it was beyond their control, therefore the gods must have done it. And I actually have here with the Knight of Swords that some people were too quick to attribute certain happenings to deities, such as like weather phenomena and stuff like that. And some people throughout human history, this is just a human thing, this King of Wands in reverse, some people did not want to take responsibility for maybe they were getting consequences for their actions, and either they just didn't want to take responsibility or they just truly could not see the connection between what they did versus what happened as a result. And they blamed that on the gods. And it's almost like this lack of taking responsibility, because this is in the reverse position. A normal King of Wands is happily like, hey, I'm in charge here. I control what I do. I'm responsible for what I do. I'll be the responsible adult here. But in reverse, it's kind of like, kind of opposite. There is this overarching, now I think the Emperor, some people would call it God, the idea of a supreme being watching over all of us. Some think that he's rude and mean and judgy and stuff. There is this overarching loving energy, this source, this singularity. And then in spirit, there are multiple beings. There's so many different families and households of beings out there. Households, as in just like soul groups and soul families and stuff like that. And many different spirit guides that that either had lives on Earth and take what they learned from that life to, in spirit, go help someone else. Excuse me. Or they've never incarnated on Earth and they just stay in spirit, but their duty is to protect and guide. I don't know if they're necessarily deities, but they are beings. Because there's a lot of beings doing a lot of work in the spirit realm to help us to grow and to protect us, to help us to get here. There's some beings, some guides whose purpose it is to more or less encourage other souls to come here, coax some souls into coming here. Some people are just like, yep, I'm incarnating here. I love Earth. This is where I want to be. And then there's some souls that are like, I don't know if I want to go there. I've heard stories. Judgment card. This is also, I would say it's kind of a human behavior. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's okay, but when somebody wrongs us, a lot of times people want the person who wronged them to be punished. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes the person who wronged us just faces natural consequences, right? Sometimes that happens, but sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't happen, it feels incredibly unfair to us, depending on what it was that happened or what another person had done. But in these cases, like even so long ago, where somebody was wronged and the person who did it got away with it, the person who was wronged I just pick up like there was this like sense of hope that, oh, they will be punished when they die. And they're going to have to sit in front of God or the gods and, they're going to be dealt with and they're going to be judged for what they did to me. I do think that's a human behavior. It's a very, that's very much a behavior of the ego self. But Joe, yeah, you're right. Creator God is all love. So some people are missing the point. But the idea that, oh, this person who wronged me is going to be judged when they die, that I think was just like a behavior that was meant to sort of bring comfort. It's not good to think that. It's not good to... I think there's some cases where, yeah, people should definitely get consequences, but you know what I mean? I don't know. I do know, but I don't want to get too into this. That's a rabbit hole that we could go down for hours. Anyways, I have been holding up the Strength card. This is something that has been working for humanity ever since we've been here. The idea of different deities, gods and goddesses helping us, guiding us. That's just something that for some reason, it's kind of worked for humanity, helping us to maybe understand our lives. So then I want to know why, no, they're all parts of the same source. But I've done this before, where in spirit I've communicated with, say, Jesus. And there's times where I've wanted to connect with Kuan Yin, the goddess of love and compassion. There's times I've wanted to connect with other deities to learn from them. And I seem to have gotten messages, so I want to know what happens in those cases. There's something here about, now it's not the wish come true card, but something like a request being granted. Spirit will, the way that I'm kind of seeing it is like, if somebody feels more comfortable based on their, just due to their upbringing or their beliefs or whatever, if they feel more comfortable getting a spiritual message that they interpret it as coming from Jesus, then Spirit might arrange itself, its energy in such a way so that the person has like this feeling of who it is that's speaking to them. They might see him or like clairvoyantly or clairaudiently, like hear the voice of God or whatever. Yeah, there's something here about a request being granted. I think because Spirit wants us, yes, okay. I think I get this now. Spirit wants us to get the message as best we can. And they will do this in, well, in whatever way, the best way they can, like, say, for example, maybe, well, if Seanna gets the message, if she interprets it as coming from this deity or this loved one in spirit. Ocean, thank you for your super chat. I think it's so that we're not confused where this guidance and stuff that we ask for is coming from. Like, I feel like Spirit is willing to kind of meet us halfway. It's like, well, you realize that I don't really have to take on the form of Jesus, Buddha, Kuan Yin, Osiris, Aphrodite, whatever. But if it will comfort you and help you to understand the message that I want to tell you, or you know, if that is going to help you to connect with the spirit realm, then okay, fine. We'll meet you halfway. We will do this for you. That's something I kind of pick up. So, I mean, technically, yeah, the deities do kind of exist, except they all share, yeah, it's like they all just share, they're from that same one energetic source. And then, of course, different cultures have, you know, they have their archetypes, like Odin, the father, and Frigg, the mother, and, you know, all the Zeus and Hera and all that stuff. Just reading in the comments, I see here, Spirit will keep trying whatever vessel is necessary for us to understand it. If we don't get the message, they try their ways until we finally get it. That is what they do. And that's why when we cross over, when we die and cross over, we often see what we expect to see, or based on any religious faith or spiritual faith that we'd grown up with, or things that we'd been told to expect about the afterlife, so that we understand it, at least at first. Excuse me. All right. Different aspects of the same source, and they all share the energy of this one true source. Some people see this source as God, like the Christian God, or some see it as Allah. Some see it as maybe just different other deities. Like, for example, I'm just being shown when somebody, like, okay, when I wanted to a few times connect to Kuan Yin, the goddess of love and compassion, it would be like me trying to connect with the side of God or source or spirit that is loving and compassionate. When somebody prays to, like, let's say they want to pray to like a god or goddess of wisdom, they're trying to connect with the part of spirit that contains all of this, like, universal knowledge, wisdom, Akashic records, things like that. When we pray, or when somebody, you know, tries to appeal to or pray to a deity of healing, they're trying to connect with that part of spirit that is able to heal us. So, I don't know, I guess the answer to that one, are the other deities real, is kind of, technically. But it just depends on how you want to view spirit and what's most comfortable for you and what's going to help foster a connection between you and the spirit world. All right, and so now we're going to change gears completely. The weird thing that somebody asked about Earth. Is human cloning a thing? Ooh, Johnny, I like how you put it. It's like Spirit is saying, however you come to me is fine as long as you show up. Yeah, come as you are, just as long as you come. All right. Is human cloning a thing? I mean, people have cloned, well, we know about Dolly the sheep. So we know that cloning is possible for some beings. What about human cloning? Is that a thing? Is that something that people do? Is that, I'll pull a card for, is that happening right now on Earth? Or will it happen in the future? Well, I don't know how I feel about this answer. It's being researched. It's being researched. Somebody is, there's a Knight of Pentacles, some very, very wealthy benefactor. I'm hearing the word benefactor. I'm also hearing the word donor. Somebody with an extreme amount of wealth. And it could be a couple of really rich somebodies. And I don't know who in particular, but are actually, I'm getting secretly, okay, you'll see in a minute why I was not sure how I felt about this. Secretly funding some kind of research on this. I think I understand a little bit of why, though. I don't know if it has to do right now with cloning an entire human body, but I think this might have to do with research on regrowing body parts, because the Sun card, this is something that could potentially help people. It's something that at least some of the people originally doing research on it are doing so with the intention of helping others. Yeah, I just keep like hearing the words like accident victim, birth defects, just they want to try and research. And I'm also just seeing like, I think it's just, I don't know if it's a real thing right now or something that they're planning, but it almost looks like a petri dish. And there's like a really tiny, it looks like fetal sized arm. And you can see the tiny little nubs where the fingers are gonna be. And it's just the arm. And another one I'm seeing is like, they're trying to regrow an ear in a petri dish. It looks like a petri dish. I don't know what it actually is, but I keep seeing that. However, that's very under wraps. Very, very under wraps. And they're trying to keep it a secret because, I mean, okay. It sounds like a sci-fi thing or like a comic book or something. Oh, if this falls into the wrong hands. But, you know, there are people who want to try and work on this research to help regrow missing body parts, but there is a fear that, you know, somebody who has a bad intention might either like take over Well, I'm hearing something about data being stolen. There's a fear of that maybe their data is stolen. What country in the world is working on this right now? I'm hearing everywhere. Can't be in every country there's a lab. I'm seeing like in the US, in the UK, and picking up there's in Japan. And I'm picking up somewhere in Africa, probably, I think maybe South Africa. It's a very urban, very urbanized part of Africa. And there's all kinds of research. But there's just, yeah, kind of a fear of data being stolen. And now, all right. Because they want to keep this, whoever is initially researching this, they want to keep their intentions pure. They're trying to do something really good. Okay, here's the secret, another card, you know, referring to maybe secretive stuff. But I don't know if this is hinting that maybe in the future some data gets stolen, and then this is talking about in the future, like seeing what might come of like their stolen data. I didn't expect this to get political at all, but just something I'm hearing mentally is don't let Russia know. There's something about don't tell Russia, like, so I'm keeping it away from Russia, keeping all this data. And then look who friggin' shows up is the King of Cups, and sometimes that was my Putin card. I think he's interested. But there is this worry that somebody's going to use this unethically and try to. Now I have here clone people, multiple people. This is usually a friendship card, but here I'm just saying a copy of a copy of a copy. You know what? I cannot leave that on this note. I need to clarify this some more. Is data on like human, I'm not going to call it human cloning, but human regeneration. Is data ever going to be stolen? What is with this card of stealing and sneakiness and dishonesty? What is that about? And I kept hearing, like, don't tell the Russians. What is that about? What, whoop, I have a card falling on the floor. What could happen? Oh, I wouldn't be too worried about it. At least not for the near future. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Cause okay. Oh, Mater, thank you so much for your super chat. Cause okay. First card, and I have them all in a line, and it's almost like telling a story here. Hang on, let me show you. Let me actually show you what I have. Let me flip my camera around. Okay, look what's come up. The order is important. Okay, there's like the theft, the deception, the somebody with bad intentions. There's delays. And then I'm also just seeing eventually this like human bodily regeneration. This is the card of charity and helping others. It's going to be used to help people, and it will still go ahead even if some data gets stolen, because here's why it's important. Whoever steals the data, there's jail here. Like, I feel like it leads to an arrest or multiple arrests. That's why I'm saying maybe don't be too worried about this. And you want to know what else I'm picking up? Hang on. Okay. Now, I love Star Wars. And I'm not picking up that Earth is going to have a cloning facility like on the planet Camino, like Attack of the Clones or whatever. It's not going to be like that. Because you know what I'm picking up, at least not anytime soon, because you know what I'm picking up is something about unstable copies, unstable specimens. Something doesn't work. I keep seeing an image of like little embryos and they're not growing. Or they grow a little bit and then they stop developing, or like they die or something. Something is just unstable. And like there's just the development of these certain like human embryos, they don't look right. Like something is wrong. And I think this is just really going to put a huge setback when it comes to like human cloning. Somebody might try it though. Somebody might try it, and Alexandra's right, it is sad. That's why I was really like uncomfortable at first. But there's hope that the last card here is like it leads to arrests. Because I also just have here that it is going to continue to be researched and studied to help people. And I just keep seeing regrowing lost limbs, or seeing if like certain like digits can be reattached, or things like that. I just see maybe somebody trying. I think maybe a lot of countries maybe have fears that there's just like fears that Russia's gonna get their hands on this. But whoever it is that tries to do this human cloning an entire human being, it's really not gonna work. I do not see it working. At least not anytime soon. And it was kind of sad seeing the mental image of all those human embryos that just, they quit growing, or something was wrong with some of them. They looked wrong. Like with deformities. Weird. Aries wonders if Putin might have cloned himself. Oh, ethically not right, Brenda. You're so right. Yeah, that's ethically an absolute nightmare. Cloning a human being. Like, there would have to be a really, really good purpose for trying to clone an entire human body. I don't know. And then like, would that clone have, would it have a soul? Would it have, what? Oh, you know what? I got cards. We're going to do this. The reason these embryos that I was seeing in my mind's eye, they weren't growing and stuff like that, did they have souls assigned to them? Did they not have souls in them? Did they not? So weird. There's something here about, yeah, see, Sergio is asking like the same thing I'm trying to ask. If a human gets cloned, would it have a new soul? That might be the better question to ask. You know what? I'll put these cards away. I will ask that. If a human gets cloned, would it have a new soul? Yeah, see, Cassie, I kind of wonder this too. We'd morally have to assume they were fully human and give them the rights of a human that was created the usual way humans create other humans. So if a human got cloned, would the clone have a soul? That's a weird question that I love. Kind of, actually. kind of. It would be filled with the life force energy, the thing that makes our cells alive, because, you know, we don't really consider our individual cells to have souls, but yet they're alive, and they work with like the collective energy that we're all part of. So what I pick up is actually they will develop their own, if a human was cloned, okay, the cloned human would develop their own personality. And I think as far as a soul and consciousness and stuff goes, now I was seeing it before I put all the other cards away because I'd asked the question in a really weird way. I did see the Temperance card though before I'd put them away, and I was seeing like slow integration. So a soul might be somewhere like hovering in spirit and like slowly integrate into this clone body. It would develop a personality shaped by the people who live around them. Do you raise a clone? I guess maybe you would. I assume, because I was seeing embryos in my mind's eye, so I assumed that should all of the human cloning stuff, like if that worked, the embryos would grow into babies. But yeah, they're shaped by the people. It's just like people who are made the usual way. The people make people, like I said. We're shaped by the people who raise us, by the people we spend time around, by our family that we're born into, and the family that we choose, the people that we choose to surround ourselves with. So a cloned human would, there would be people, of course, there would still be people who love them. And I think, now this is interesting. Oh my gosh, you guys are asking so many good questions right now. I was going to ask Spirit, would a clone like be able to feel love? And the answer that just came in was as long as the different sections of the brain were developed appropriately, and the oxytocin, all the various chemicals in the brain, if all of that worked okay, then like on a biological level, then yes, they should be able to experience love or attachment. The Queen of Pentacles, something about like stability, security, independence. I think that they would, well, yeah, I think they would want, obviously, the same kind of rights and stuff as everybody else. But it just seems like overall they would. And yeah, interestingly, like if somebody were to incarnate into like a cloned body instead of maybe being born instead of being born out of like a human body, maybe the soul does just eventually integrate and bond with the clone body or something. Interesting though, very interesting. Now, I do know that, and I know this already, but somebody in the comments did point out that Dolly the sheep, you know, the one that was cloned, the clone had a very short life. And I think this maybe had to do with the age of the cells of the original Dolly, because I think she was, well, she was an adult already when they had cloned her, I think. And I wonder if this also has to do with why I keep picking up something about like unstable specimens, unstable, whatever it was, the words I was hearing there. So what would happen if a person was trying to be cloned? Yeah, you know what? I pick up the same thing. Like a fast existence, very brief, with a lot of difficulty. And I just pick up something again about instability. So currently people are working on maybe regeneration, regrowing limbs and body parts, but not entire human beings. And all that other stuff we looked at a few minutes ago, purely hypothetical, but I love that Spirit plays along and is like, well, you know, if this did happen, here's what could happen. Is it ever going to be a thing in the future, though? Will humans ever be cloned in the future? No, not necessarily. There's going to be all these different attempts at research. This is still about human like regeneration of body parts. But when it comes to the human cloning, no. Tower. Something is like, there would be a huge pushback. There would be a huge fight over it, I think. And then people are going to just move on to, this has to do with now with healing. Move on to maybe just finding ways to heal the bodies that we have instead of trying to build new ones. Yeah, there's so many interesting questions on this. Like, I'm really glad that you guys are asking about it. So now for the aliens. Our fourth question is, oh, wait a minute. Indigenous Aquarian says, Clonade is a human cloning company in Canada. Huh. I had no idea. I don't know, I just feel like there's going to be more focus paid to like regrowing the specific body parts, as opposed to regrowing an entire human. All right, so now aliens. Is Bob Lazar, is that how you say his last name? Is it Lazar? I don't know. Telling the truth about working on alien spacecraft. I don't know very much about this guy. And I wanted to go into this reading not really knowing much, because I always like being surprised. Is Bob Lazar telling the truth about working on alien spacecraft? Oh, damn. He's been doing it for a while. Oh, you know what? Actually, you know why his name is really familiar? Because Alexander just mentioned Joe Rogan doing an interview with him. And yeah, I think my fiance was actually watching that not long ago. Because there was a guy on there that was talking about spacecraft, and I didn't catch all of it. I had my headphones and I was working, but this guy, he's been doing it for a long time. Long time. So I think he's telling, right away, he is telling the truth. I picked that up. I do, I picked that up. Ah, yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again, because like I said, I had my headphones and I was working on my computer. My fiance was watching it though, and it did seem interesting. There's like I think that this guy, he's got like I don't know what the different like work titles, job titles, positions are in the like where he works, but there's something about he's kind of been put in like a leadership role within this research. I'm also hearing the word task force. I don't know if that is the right word, but I did hear it. He's kind of put in charge of a certain department. With great success. With great success. Oh, Gary's saying Bob has his own business. Well, actually, that makes sense why he's kind of put in the leadership role then. If it's his own business, that means he's the boss, isn't it? Anyways, with great success. And I have the Fool card. He was willing to go out on a limb and make himself sound absolutely crazy to some people. And he's happy to be public about it. That's what I pick up from that Nine of Cups. Also that there's just like, I'm picking up like, it might be him or it might just be others that are like working with him and stuff. They don't believe that all of this should be kept fully secret. I think some things kept secret until they have a better understanding of them and then go public with what they know. But yeah, he was willing to risk his career and his reputation. He was willing to risk it all to get this information out. So now I want to know a little bit about like some of, whoops, card's falling out, some of the work he does or other. What kind of stuff does he do? He might be currently on some kind of holiday or hiatus right now. I just have like, currently he's taking a break. So maybe he's taking some like vacation days or something. Well, I have here like helping to build high quality aircraft. There's something I'm picking up. What am I picking up? I got mental images coming in. I got a lot of them coming in. I think he's had contact with actual aliens too. And there's something about like receiving insight on these like alien spacecraft because it will help people to build better aircraft. I like that. Yeah, learning. That's a good question, Johnny. Is he a medium? I think we'll ask that in a minute, but there's something here about he's gotten advice on like how to build better quality aircraft and better quality materials. And some of that research, you know, maybe it went towards like military stuff as well, or you never know, but there's something here about the Hermit, like he actually goes very deep within. Now, I don't know if this happens at night when he's sleeping or if he actually purposely gets into like a deep trance state, but he is like very connected divinely. He's helped repair alien spacecraft. I just picked that up with this 10 of Wands. They had, like, I'm just picking up something to do with like a crash landing or an unsuccessful landing, and something was broken. And so he had learned how to repair it, or he had repaired or gotten somebody to repair, I don't know, was responsible for repairing an alien spacecraft in a very similar way that they would repair broken human aircraft. Is he a medium? And yeah, with the Hermit, like channeling, it does seem, and he goes really deep within. I was kind of wondering if he goes into like a deep trance state or something, or if he gets information in his dreams at night, or if it's all the above. Is Bob Lazar a medium of sorts? For extraterrestrials? Oh yeah. Yeah. It took him a while to learn it, to learn how to do it, but it seems like he knows. There's the magician there. I mean, to me, that answers it pretty clearly. Like, yes, he is a medium of sorts. That is very good at channeling. Look at the High Priestess there too. He gets insight. Now, some people who are mediums, we get insight and information from people who have crossed over into spirit, or from angels, from guides, whatever. He picks up information from aliens, extraterrestrials, who are, there's some who are very telepathic, and that's how they communicate to him. It took him a while to learn it and to get good at it, but he can do it. Excuse me. And the next part of the question is, how can humans travel faster in space? I don't know very much about space travel, so I'm 100% trusting spirit and intuition and stuff that comes in with this one. How can humans travel faster in space? Right away, I'm hearing something to do with the concentration of dark matter. The concentration of dark matter. Or can it be done? Can humans go faster in space? Because I have here that there is a limit before it will kill the human body. There's a limit as to how fast people can go in space, or something like this, or ways to travel. Like, I was kind of wondering, like, well, what about black holes? And I kind of picked this one up, like, there has to be a way to travel faster that won't kill the human body. But I was also hearing something about the concentration of dark matter. Oh, dropping cards on the floor. Just a sec. There we go. I pick up that in the future, like, there's research being done now and seeds being planted now that in the future we will actually have this understanding. So we're planting seeds now that will, I'm hearing, breed future discovery. That's funny because Discovery was the name of one of the shuttles too. There's something like adding fuel additive. I keep hearing the word additive, and it has to do with fuel, rocket fuel or something. But they also need to come up with something that's going to be, what is the word I'm looking for? Like sustainable, reusable? Because when you're traveling out in space, you can't, there's no gas station. At least not yet. Brenda, thank you for your super chat. I think there's going to be many different attempts to try and find some kind of fuel additive or something that will, I don't know if it's make the journey out of the Earth smoother and a little bit more efficient, but also a way to preserve existing fuel. Again, without killing the human body. I have with the Wheel of Fortune, it will be figured out. People will learn how to go faster in space, but how? How? Something to do with fuel additives, concentration of dark matter. These could all be different ideas that people are trying to work with. I'm also seeing an idea somebody has. It has to do with, like, I'm hearing like magnetic propulsion, but it has to do with repelling magnets, because you know how you can put two north ends or two south ends of a magnet together and they will bing, kind of like pull or push apart. I'm seeing something like this on a much more powerful scale, and for some reason the repelling energy, like, or the repelling magnets or something, something travels this way, and then of course everything has the equal and opposite reaction. The craft travels this way. And it's like a cycle. It just keeps happening over and over. I do not understand what I'm seeing, but it does have to do with that. That's an idea that somebody has. Oh, Mater says it sounds like the bullet train. Is that how the bullet train works? I know there's like magnetic levitation or something. Anyway, somebody is wondering if, I wonder if it's Elon Musk wondering this with like the whole SpaceX thing, if maybe it's some kind of like magnetic propulsion or repelling something to move the craft forward constantly. I don't know, but that's cool. People are having all kinds of ideas. I like that I was able to pick up on the different ideas that people have. Oh, yeah, the spacecraft use that, the slingshot effect, but they haven't built anything to do it in space. They use the planets and stuff to do it now. Yeah, that's right. That's how they would get the Apollo astronauts back home, wasn't it? They would kind of go around the moon and use the moon's gravity, whoosh, whip it back to Earth. I have to do sound effects for like everything. I don't know. Well, okay, and now the last question that I have on the agenda is, are there aliens out there who protect humans? And like I had said earlier, I think I had read on this before. This had come up that there are beings out there that observe us for scientific purposes, for research, sometimes just for fun. Maybe we're kind of like a zoo to them. Or they just like to observe us and learn about us. There's some that do watch over us, but they don't interfere, either because they haven't needed to or they just choose not to. I'm not really sure. Oh, Cemetery is right. The bullet train uses the magnetic force to go really fast. Interesting. Okay, but are there aliens out there who protect humans? Already I'm seeing yes. Already I'm seeing yes. There are star beings out there with this star card. I don't know why the star beings just comes in, but maybe that's what they prefer to call themselves. Anyways, we would consider them aliens. Some I pick up exist on some kind of weird, they're like off the visual spectrum of light. We can't see them with the naked eye because that's just I don't know, I'm not a scientist. Is that maybe because it has to do with like the wavelengths of light and stuff like that, the way that light is manipulated or whatever. Anyways, there's beings out there that, yeah, they care about us. They want to offer us protection. They want to offer us knowledge, but they also just know that we can't necessarily be interfered with. They don't really want to interfere with like our natural habitat. It's almost like how we have wildlife reserves where, maybe there are people that do go and check in on the different animals and they have veterinarians and stuff like that, but they don't necessarily try and interfere directly with the habitat or anything like that. And that's what I'm picking up here, is that there are these beings that want to just observe us and take care of us, but they don't want to disturb us. Jakar is right, interference would violate our free will. However, there are people out there who are very open to communicating with extraterrestrials and people who have such a strong belief that there are helpful beings out there that, maybe those beings interfere or interact in that person's personal life because they have the okay to do so. Anyways, I have here, they want to help people who are very vulnerable. The one thing I was seeing with this protection here, is, and this is a card of defense as well. I was seeing there's, it happens all over the world, but first I was seeing somewhere in the Sahara, or not the Sahara, the savannah, the grasses, and there's like a group of, they must be hunters or something, but they're camping. And there's like a dangerous animal. I'm kind of seeing a wild boar, and I don't know how dangerous those are, but I wouldn't want to get close to one. Is coming up to like their camp where they're sleeping. And there's this alien being that comes down and scares away the boar. And it doesn't come back. It doesn't pester the humans at all. And there's something here about they want to observe and protect the very vulnerable, like little children. And little children are generally very, very open to spirit, whether they're aware of it or not. And now, I don't know, maybe ethically, I don't really know. I'm not like 100% comfortable with this, but some beings do know that, well, children are just so open-minded, it's almost like implied consent to visit them or to observe them or research on them. I don't know if that's okay, because children are not necessarily old enough to understand what's happening and have informed decisions. They can't give informed consent. Oh yeah, aliens, you can come to my house and like read my brain or whatever, take me on board one of your adventures. But yeah, Johnny's right. It's easier to visit someone before doubt gets in the way. And children do not, it depends on how you grow up. If you grow up really religious, you have filters in place right away. But most children just don't have all those filters yet. They're still just open-minded and they're so trusting. And the third eye and crown are just wide open and connected. So yeah, it looks like there are aliens out there who protect humans. I do like that. Alexander saying there's a true story of aliens showing themselves to children in Zimbabwe, more than a dozen children. Oh my God. That would be kind of terrifying, I guess, if you didn't know what you were looking at. But at the same time, I guess there's a few different types of people out there. Like somebody would be like, I'm getting out of here. I'm not going to stick around to see what this thing is. I want to survive. And then there's some people that are like, let's poke it with a stick and see what it does. Like, what is this thing? So that could be, to me, I would find that like horrifyingly interesting, horrifyingly fascinating. That probably did scare the little kids, so oh no. Sometime in the 1990s, says Craig. It's an interesting incident, says Alexandra. They even drew a picture of what they saw. You can YouTube it. The aliens gave them telepathic messages to save Earth. Oh, over 60 children saw the aliens on their playground in 1994. And you know what? That actually makes sense why they would appear to a bunch of children, because children are a lot more open-minded. They're a lot more, I mean, they are a lot more imaginative. And so, you know, I think with aliens, they kind of take advantage of that and hide behind that, because the aliens will know that not everyone's going to believe when a kid says, oh my God, Mom, I saw an alien. Like, you know. Alexandra says children are safer too. I think because their energy is just so pure, they're so trusting that maybe those beings do find children to be trustworthy. And of course, hide behind there's always that deniability as well. Oh, you are imagining things. No, you just saw a really weird animal, or, you know, like, no, you just had a dream or whatever. The aliens, they're aware that other people are going to be skeptical. So I think that's why they just go ahead and appear to, usually to children. But they do appear to adults who are very open-minded. and adults who make the intent to invite these beings in to teach them or to show them something. Ari says, probably too worried we're going to stuff up. Probably. Ellie says, Magi friends again. Oh yeah, I forgot about that episode of Weird Questions. Yeah, maybe some children's imaginary friends are actually just like aliens, alien beings. Again, like the ones that we can't see with our normal eyes outside of that visible light spectrum. Now I'm thinking of a cartoon I used to watch when I was little. There's a Canadian kids show called Katie and Orby, narrated by Leslie Nielsen, by the way. And it was a little blonde girl who had an alien friend, and I wonder if to the adults Orby was just like imaginary. I don't know, but I remember he was like this pink alien that used to sleep in her closet. And like it was just a great show. A little girl whose imaginary friend was an alien. It was adorable. Little Sprout says, I dreamt of being on a giant ship, so quiet, as we flew over the Earth. They explained about an energy grid technology that we'll eventually use to fly. It felt nice. I felt we came up over a forest and over a city. I believe it was Portland. That's really cool. That's awesome. Now, are you sure that was a dream, or was that like, you know what I'm getting at? Or like a real out-of-body experience. You know what, I'm going to ask one last thing. Because people are starting to become more open-minded to aliens. I would like to see the, oh no, alien invasion, we have to shoot them with all the big guns. I would like to see that trope start disappearing. Because just from my findings, just from doing readings and stuff, yeah, there are ones that are not great, but there's human beings who are not great either, and ones that just want to watch us, and ones that want to help, and ones that are just mostly harmless. So will humans and aliens ever come together? Is that the right way to put it? Yeah, is that a good way to put it? Anyways, humans and aliens, will we like come together in harmony? Will we ever like coexist on Earth? I like that card, 4 of Wands, stability, peace, and harmony. And I was literally just saying that. It's like family. Again, it might not be like directly. It might not be directly. Intuitively. But will there ever be a direct meetup? Or definitely meetup? Well, okay, there's people in various nations, governments who have already met certain alien beings. Will the general public ever visibly see one, hear from one? Huh, well, I'm hearing from Spirit, yes, but you do so all the time. There's something about like aliens like kind of being among us. I like that. They're among us. Sort of. Their energy is among us and people channel them, and I think this is why we see and hear from them all the time. Because there are people who channel them, there are people who draw them, paint them, sort of help them to come to life. Now there's some really good comments I need to catch up on, because I'm officially done the stream. I'm done weird questions for now, but I really do want to just read all these comments. Oh, Johnny says, I leave my body every night. I have to walk people to the light. I'm learning to accept such a thing. That is amazing. And Cheryl's saying she helped her mom to do that. Aw. Yeah, Alex says Seanna can chill now. Yes, I can. You know what? I've been trying to... I've been making progress, but I need to figure out what is happening when I enter the dream state, because it's been like almost 2 years. No, not quite. Like a year and a half of sometimes recurring dreams, but it's not the same dream. I always go to the same places. I always end up the dream. This is how I know I'm dreaming, though, and I think this is really useful. Spirit is, I think, teaching me how to lucid dream a little bit. I'm getting better at it, but I always know I'm dreaming if all 6 of us in my immediate family are back at home at the acreage where I grew up. You know, parents are still married or whatever, living together, because in real life they're divorced and they're happily doing other things in life, which is great. But in my dreams, my whole family is always together, and we're like adults, we're the age that we are now, all under one roof. And I still have to like catch the bus in the morning. Sometimes I have the option to just drive my car to school, but I always have to go to school. Some days I skip in some of my dreams, sometimes, and it's the same town, the same setup. I know the street layouts. It's a mix between my current city and different places where I grew up. I know like the trip between the acreage and the nearest town that I grew up outside of. Like in my dreams, I know how to. In real life, I make that trip easily, but in my dreams, I do that all the time. And then I dream about being at school, and I'm dealing with some of my classmates that I've had, well, like that I had growing up, like from like kindergarten to, well, in high school. My school was weird because everybody from the other communities would all, around grade 10, I think, the people from a few of the surrounding towns would all congregate at CHSPS where I went. And some of the, I don't know, I see some of those kids, but I'm often in a small classroom with about 10 or 15 other kids, like the original class that I had, like in kindergarten, grade 1. And I have like my grade 5 teacher who in real life was extremely problematic to me, and he's a very kind person nowadays. I have no idea what he was going through when I was a little kid, but extremely problematic teacher, destroyed my low self-esteem and stuff. But he's my teacher in these dreams. And then sometimes after, my fiance, so in my dreams, he shows up now. He comes in on a different school bus. But sometimes, and we're in a different grade, and we like meet up, you know, in the hallways and after school. And sometimes in my dreams, my fiance and my husband and I skip school together. And like some of the one of the classrooms looks like a daycare room that I used to teach in. Anyways, I did a little bit of going within and searching, and I learned, well, I haven't done a reading on it. No. Should I do a reading on that right now? We could always, bonus weird question. See if it's a root chakra thing. Safety, security, home life. That's what Johnny's suggesting. I could do a reading on it. I actually did go within a little bit because there were also streets in this town in my recurring dreams where I'm like in the same area all the time. There's a daycare that I sometimes dream about working in. And there's an empty house. It was a duplex. And in the dream, I used to live on one side. And a very abusive ex-partner from many years ago occupied the other side of the house. And I was always afraid to walk past it. And I had gone within, did a little meditation, and I learned that a lot of the people that I was seeing in my dreams, like sharing the duplex with like the really bad person, having my old grade 5 teacher who back then was very problematic. These were all people I had to forgive and didn't realize that I wasn't fully forgiving. But that was like one of the only things I was able to find out. So I've been trying to work on using Ho'oponopono to heal any like resentment that I didn't realize I still had against people that I'd grown up with, or people who'd hurt me, adults who had hurt me. And it just seemed weird that like the dreams always start off at home with my family. I have a wonderful family. Every family goes through stressful times. But I've always, I always knew, you know, my family loves me. We have a very strong connection, and we're very fortunate in that way. But I wonder if maybe there's just old family wounds or old childhood hurts that maybe I forgot all about, but my subconscious still holds on to. I don't know. And maybe it's just comforting to enter the dream world, realize I'm dreaming because I'm at home and everybody else is at home. I guess I'll do a reading on it though. So what was that all about? Why do I keep having recurring dreams of, because it used to be, I've made a lot of progress in these dreams. Because you know how you ever try running in a dream or walking and you cannot move? It's like you're like trying to walk through a big room full of jello. I don't know. I've never walked through a big room full of jello. I just imagine that it would be incredibly difficult. And it's like hard to move and it's slow. Well, I've gotten to the point where I'm able to walk all the way down. We had a long ass driveway. Walk all the way down the laneway and get to the end before the bus comes. And I'm usually there waiting. And usually a bus or some kind of vehicle comes. Sometimes it's a bus. Sometimes it's a train. One time I saw it was a train with circus animals on it. Another time it was a semi-truck. Another time it was an old Model T. So what the heck am I supposed to be learning? This has been like every night consistently for nearly 2 years. And there's Main Street. There's always the bank. There's the video rental store for some reason. There's a restaurant. And then there's an area that's, it's almost like Bob's Burgers, how in the theme song, the building next door to the restaurant, it's always a different building every episode. That's, I have something like that down Main Street in my dream. And like, there's the apartment building where my fiance lived. And like, oh my goodness. I used to not be able to connect with my fiance in the dream realm. I'd always feel like he was so far away, but now he's always there. He just comes in on a different bus. So I think that's funny. All right, what do I need to learn from this like recurring dream that I've spent like 20 minutes just talking about? What do I need to be learning from that? I learned that there are people that I need to forgive and work on continually. There's some situations my therapist says that I might have to learn to forgive over and over again. So what else do I need to learn? Oh, there's learning to let things go. Like, and putting an end to any baggage from my past. And then I'm going to tell you guys something else really interesting about these recurring dreams that I have. Of just being in the same, like, community, same stuff. Oh, here we have, hang in there. Eventually it will change. So this is not going to be like forever. I'm not going to have like 50 years of the same. It would be okay if I started off all of my dreams in the same, like I call it, what did I call it? Not a landing pad, like a launching pad, you know? If I started all my dreams in the same place, like maybe being at home with all of my family there, I would be fine with that, because then from there I could be like, oh, okay, I know I'm dreaming, so now I'm going to go somewhere else. Eventually I'll be done with like having all these dreams about being in school or dreams about teaching daycare. What else do I need to know? Okay. Well, I have Queen of Cups, and right on the bottom I have King of Cups. I think I still need to learn. There's some lessons on compassion and empathy. And there's something about coming into unity with myself, with my true self. And then something will be in balance. So what is that? What is it that's going to be? You know what? This is really fascinating stuff. What needs to be put into balance? Oh, you know what? Now it's all kind of coming in. Well, it's my subconscious's way of unwinding and helping me to understand all of the work I've been doing spiritually, I guess. 2, it helps to boost my intuition and connect me with certain guides and family who've crossed over. And I can't keep using my past baggage. Oh, I'm being called out. I can't keep using my past baggage as an excuse not to move forward. Yeah, it's true though. It's true. It's true. I can't use the hurts from my past to keep me from moving forward. I can't use that as a place of comfort. I can't use that as an excuse. Alexandra goes, lol, at Spirit. Yeah, I know. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. Because, like, I do deal with self-esteem issues. I do. I kind of always have. And I know where it originates from. Some of the things, and I do deal with things like the PTSD and stuff. It's gotten so much better. I've healed so much over the last few years from it. But, like, I can't just be like, oh, I have a low self-esteem, so that's why it's really hard for me to do this, and this. So I have really, I get it. And I can't keep falling into that trap of, like, okay, like I had broken down like a week or 2 ago and made that post about like comparing myself to other people was like destroying my mental health and things like that. And like I just realized that like I was just so stuck in the trap of I have the low self-esteem, therefore I can't move forward because we know how low self-esteem starts. Like there are many different ways, but people that would say like, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. I maybe without realizing it was using that, I don't know, as like a comfort. And Johnny says, work on it, but at the same time, you're still human, so it's repeating one step at a time. It's true. That way you build along the journey. The way that I always see it is like a winding mountain road. It's going all the way up the mountain. We're never stuck. We just end up cycling back around to something. Yeah, Ellie also puts it well, self-sabotage. I think I was doing a lot of that too. And I like that maybe my dreams are showing me like there's people I need to forgive. I need to also forgive myself. I need to work on remembering that I am capable. Is there anything else that my dreams are showing me that I'm not seeing? Okay, processing. Yeah, okay, processing emotions. There's a lot of like, maybe like mental anguish or something that was just from the past that I've maybe consciously gotten over, but perhaps parts of my subconscious still hold on to different pains because it's trying to protect me. I think some of my dreams are showing me like sources of pain, sources of unforgiveness. Bottom of the deck, there's just like, hey, a breakthrough, an energetic shift. You've learned something. So I guess I'll keep working on it. I'll keep doing it. a really nice thing that I found is sometimes in my dreams I'm getting ready for school. Sometimes it's from home with my parents. Sometimes it's at my grandma's old house. She also used to live on an acreage like just a kilometer down the road from us. And she's still alive, and she's still on Earth and she's doing great, but she shows up in my dreams. So I wonder if I just maybe meet her higher self in dreams. Sometimes I get ready for school from her house. Sometimes in dreams I get ready for school from my grandpa's old house. My grandpa being from the other side of the family, and he is in spirit. He passed away like 6 years ago. Sometimes I get ready for school from his house, and I get to spend the morning with him, and it's almost like maybe he's helping me to prepare for my day in real time or something. Sometimes I just go to Hardesty Lake in my dream, in the dream realm, where a place my family would go quite a lot for reunions. And my great grandma in the dream state has a house on that lake. So I go and I visit with her too. And I hope that never stops. I mean, I wish I didn't always have to be getting ready for school, but but just be able to go and visit the different loved ones in spirit, or even people who are still alive on Earth, just go and connect to their higher self. I would love if that could continue. So yeah, that was my weird question stream. 5 weird questions about Earth, and then a bonus 6th one about my own psyche. And I mean, I have fun with that though. Sometimes I have trouble reading on myself, and having your guys' perspective has been extremely helpful to me, and your encouragement and stuff like that. It is amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. Please remember to like and subscribe to Seanna Rose Metaphysical. And with that, I'm going to see you in a new upload.